Will there be another cooling measure coming in 2025 or 2026? All right, let's find out. Now, first off, happy National Day. And leading towards National Day, there was actually an article published in the Business Times. And I don't think this article is published without a good reason. And the way I look at it is it's kind of like a hint for all of us, right? And the title of this article basically says, right, SG60 from surge to stability, a timeline of Singapore's property market cooling measures, 1995 to 2025, right? The way I see it is that the government is actually closely watching and looking at all these numbers. And if it happens, don't say we never tell you. And that's how I see it, because then they kind of like cover backside a little bit because they told you already. And from all this, we don't want to try to speculate. Let's try to look at numbers, right? Over the past 1 month, there were new launches, and they were actually going at quite a crazy rate, right? So let's take a look. If you're unaware, CapitaLand sold near to 95% Lindenwood on launch day, right? And then we have River Green, that's near River Valley, right? That sold about 88%, 90%, right? And then we have Promenade Peak, this is sold 54%. And then we have Upper House, right? 54%. We have Robertson Opus, 41%. And then we have Canberra Crescent Residence, 40%. These are actually quite good numbers, ranging from 90 over percent to 40 over percent. And this is only on launch day, which just simply means that there are people constantly looking at different locations to get into the market. And they are cash ready, they have the capability to go in. And with all these numbers, going quite hot, right? This translates to the next thing, which is this, right? The launch, maybe the numbers doesn't make any sense to most people, but this, right, residential property price index, the PPI, will definitely make sense. Okay, so if we were to look at things that had happened over the past in Singapore, right, which is what this article mainly suggests, right? And if we look at the chart and we look at this chart over here, it will make sense to you, right? So you see in the past, right, property has been going quite crazy, and then this correction came because of economic crisis, not because the government went in to or stepped in to do something about it. Okay, then follow through, right? Economy stabilized and then got better, right? If you know, this is basically the Asia crisis. This something happened in Hong Kong and all. And then over here we have the .com, right? After that, everything kind of like stable. Then shoot up very crazily over here. Again, another economic crisis, right? Down here is the subprime crisis. Okay, that one happened in the US, right? Then from here we have another V-shaped crazy recovery. This is the time where government step in, because this V-shape plus close to 90-degree kind of recovery, government don't like. Government don't like to see this kind of gradient, this kind of curve. So what they do? Okay, so somewhere around 2010, right? Government step in to say that, okay, we will introduce this. This is the start of everything, right? Seller stamp duty from 1 year to 3 years, right? Right. After a few months, they still don't see what they want to see, right? It is still going quite crazy. Okay, then let's go for another one, right? 2011, just the start of the year, they raised it to 4 years. Just take note. Well, right now, the very recent cooling measure is basically this one. We are back to 2011. Okay, so we need to look at history. We need to see what our government can do, right? Then there's ABSD. Then there is tightening of the LTV, right? There's also the loan tenure cap at 35, right? Then there's ABSD. Then there's LTV limits even tighter, right? Then there is TDSR framework, all right? This 2013 series, right? So from 2010 to 2013, all these things happening finally managed to curb this V-shape 90-degree. But then it also gave us a dip, right? After that, slowly increase. And that's somewhere around near to 2017, then it starts to increase, right? This is also another shift from investors' mindset and also locals' mindset, because people start to see that there are no other places to invest in the market, right? Certain things are going quite high, really, really high. Okay, so let's just look at the index now. Okay, this is basically the DJI, right? So you see from start of 17, the prices actually went quite crazy until 18, right? There wasn't any chance for people to get in the market. You're talking about stocks and all these different things. There isn't anything, right? And even if you look at US 500, right? 2017 up to 18, it was like that. So people start thinking, hey, I cannot go into a market like that. Why not look at something again, somewhere else, right? And that's when here it starts to pick up. Also, because around here, the cooling measures and everything has ended. It has cooled the market. These investors, these people don't think that, government is going to come in and make things difficult again, right? Because it has cooled quite a little bit. At the same time, right, because of all this chart that is happening, the government actually reduced the stamp duty to 3 years period. Okay, and that is when everything starts to go up again, even with all this ABSD. So it's a big picture kind of thing, right? So now let's come back to current, right? In current stage, what we are seeing is that this is also quite high. Okay, it's not the cool down, right? But government is starting to come in. Why? Because they also don't like what's happening. Okay, so the reason why this article is out is also to tell us, right, there may be more coming out, and what they can do is basically, things that had been done, just changing the numbers to different things, right? They can be creative. They can come up with something else we don't know. It's hard to say what else is coming, but if we just change certain numbers, right? For example, the change in LTV, right? For example, the change in TDSR. This tool already can make it very hard for you to get into the market, right? Which is what the government is trying to do, right? So basically, the government will not try to kill off real estate in a whole. Reason is very simple, because the real estate also contribute to the GDP, right? Which is quite significant. So they wouldn't try to do something funny to make the GDP numbers not so good. Okay, this is from a bigger picture perspective, apart from real estate. So you need to understand this, right? So with the start of what has come, which is the very recent coding measures, changing from 3 years back to 4 years, we may start to see a lot more coming, depending on, right, a few things. This, right, if it continues to go at a rate that they don't want to see, they may start to introduce like what they have done from previous. Then they will start to see the cool down, right? It's almost like the weather. You feel that it's quite hot, right? You go and check the weather. Okay, wow, today is 30 degree, right? Then you know already, oh, I feel quite hot. Then this is the actual number. Is it gonna get hotter? What can I do? Can I on the fan first? Okay, let's on the fan. Is it still very hot? Still very hot, okay. Then maybe I on the aircon. After I on the aircon, is it still very warm, very humid? Okay, I put it to 18 degrees. And this is how our government works. You look at the numbers and you look at the changes of the things that they've done, they will want to see the cooling effect. And I mean, the closest I can put it is basically the weather. You feel hot first, you then go and try to do something to cool it off. Still cannot cool off, you try different methods to try to cool off, right? Maybe the last method is just pour ice on yourself. That's the fastest and the best way. But again, you see, the government is trying to keep it stable. That's the message that also they want to drive. They will not want to kill it, they want to keep it stable. And that's the main thing. Okay, so will it come? Where will it come? Nobody's actually know, right? Because like even this stamp duty from 3 to 4 years, it was released again at midnight. Suddenly, some new launches were affected, right? So it will curb the rate already. Okay, so that's more or less what's happening, right, in the current market. And what I see very eerily is what is already happening in the market, which is again, we are at an all-time high for certain things, right? People may not want to get in at this kind of area, right? People may want to look at something else to invest, right? Very eerily similar, and we know history, there is a very high chance that it's going to repeat again. So with this is what I have for you. There may be more things coming up, but just stay assured that the government is just trying to make things stable. Okay, so if you enjoy this video, if you think it is helpful, if you think that your friend can benefit, okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There'll be more videos coming up that is going to help you, especially in Singapore's property market. I will see you around. Take care. Bye bye.